Using the Maroon X instrument on the Gemini North Telescope, the team was able to identify and measure the abundance of 11 chemical elements in the atmosphere of the planet. Those include rock-forming elements whose abundances are not even known for giant planets in the solar system such as Jupiter or Saturn. Even though our computers are now better than 15 years ago, they still malfunction between 11 and 20% of the time, a new study concludes. The researchers behind the study therefore find that there are major gains to be achieved for society by rethinking the systems and involving users more in their development. An endlessly rotating beach ball, a program that crashes without saving data, or systems that require illogical procedures or simply do not work. Unfortunately, struggling with computers is still a familiar situation for most of us. Tearing your hair out over computers that do not work remains very common among users, according to new Danish research. When researchers analyzed pellets made from recycled plastic gathered in 13 countries, they discovered numerous harmful substances, such as pesticides and pharmaceuticals. As a result, the scientists concluded that recycled plastics are unsuitable for many applications and pose a challenge to the establishment of a circular economy. Although scientific consensus on human responsibility, reaffirmed by the 6th report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has been in place for decades, a third of the population still doubts or disputes it. This phenomenon can be explained by the disinformation spread by certain companies and lobbies over the last 50 years. Now, Northwestern University chemists have developed a new catalyst that quickly, cleanly and completely breaks down nylon 6 in a matter of minutes, without generating harmful byproducts. Even better, the process does not require toxic solvents, expensive materials or extreme conditions, making it practical for everyday applications. At this great age, putting a date on finds is very challenging, and we used luminescence dating to do this. These new dating methods have far-reaching implications, allowing us to date much further back in time, to piece together sites that give us a glimpse into human evolution. Almost every representative of a new idea has to struggle and suffer similar difficulties. Almost every representative of a new idea has to struggle and suffer similar difficulties. All the assignments should be submitted by the end of this week. All the assignments should be submitted by the end of this week. All essays and seminar papers submitted must be emailed to your tutor. All essays and seminar papers submitted must be emailed to your tutor. Acupuncture is a technique involved in traditional Chinese medicine. Acupuncture is a technique involved in traditional Chinese medicine. Allergy problems do run in the family, but we don't understand why. Allergy problems do run in the family, but we don't understand why. All students and staff have the access to printers and laptops. All students and staff have the access to printers and laptops. All students must participate in the exercise. All students must participate in the exercise. All filed assignments should have a full list of bibliographies. All filed assignments should have a full list of bibliographies. All the assignments are based on class discussion. All the assignments are based on class discussion. All students are encouraged to vote in the forthcoming elections. All students are encouraged to vote in the forthcoming elections. All necessary information is in the assignment. All necessary information is in the assignment. A thorough bibliography is needed at the end of every assignment. A thorough bibliography is needed at the end of every assignment. And though it may sound surprising, the best way to stay protected before, during, and after a nuclear detonation is getting inside. Similar to protecting yourself from tornadoes or hurricanes, getting and staying inside a sturdy building would offer protection from the explosion's shock wave, heat, and radiation. The shock wave of energy would travel several kilometers beyond the fireball's radius in the first few seconds. Sturdy buildings within that range should be able to withstand the shock wave, and staying in the centers and basements of these buildings also helps provide protection from heat and flying objects. Finding shelter is especially important if the fireball occurs close to the Earth, as it will pull thousands of tons of dirt and debris several kilometers into the atmosphere. As the fireball cools, unstable atoms created by the nuclear fission mix with the debris to produce the most dangerous long-term effect of a nuclear detonation, radioactive particles called fallout. These sand-sized particles emit ionizing radiation, capable of separating electrons from molecules and atoms. Exposure to massive amounts of this radiation can result in cell damage, radiation burns, radiation sickness, cancer, and even death. Thankfully, the same buildings that offer protection from the blast are even better at guarding against fallout. Radiation is reduced as it travels through space and mass. So while a broken window and sealed window both have the same minimal effect on radiation, thick layers of steel, concrete, and packed earth can offer serious protection. And systemic errors don't just appear in matters of human judgment. From 1993 to 2008, the same female DNA was found in multiple crime scenes around Europe, incriminating an elusive killer dubbed the Phantom of Heilbronn. But the DNA evidence was so consistent precisely because it was wrong. It turned out that the cotton swabs used to collect the DNA samples had all been accidentally contaminated by a woman working in the swab factory. In other cases, systematic errors arise through deliberate fraud, like the presidential referendum held by Saddam Hussein in 2002, which claimed a turnout of 100% of voters with all 100% supposedly voting in favor of another 7-year term. When you look at it this way, the paradox of unanimity isn't actually all that paradoxical. Unanimous agreement is still theoretically ideal, especially in cases when you'd expect very low odds of variability and uncertainty, but in practice, achieving it in situations where perfect agreement is highly unlikely should tell us that there's probably some hidden factor affecting the system. Although we may strive for harmony and consensus, in many situations, error and disagreement should be naturally expected. And if a perfect result seems too good to be true, it probably is. How often does February have one extra day? What do we call stop, comma or ellipsis? What do you call the female partner in a marriage? What do we call the extra performance that actors give?